So one thing I've learned about the grieving process is it involves doing and feeling a lot of different things. And one of those things can be comparing yourself to other people. Comparing can be tricky because it can really mess with your mind a little bit. I was 10 years old when my dad passed away, and at the time I didn't know any other kids my age who had lost a parent. So I immediately started comparing myself to these other kids. So I felt like the odd one out, and I would always be reminded of this through all kinds of things, from hearing them talk about their parents at school, to the school having events where parents attended, and going over to friends' houses and seeing their parents. Even my family dynamic reminded me of this because I was pretty close to some of my nieces and nephews because they were around my age. Being the youngest of 6, you tend to have nieces and nephews that can be around your age, and they end up feeling like close cousins, and that's how my situation was. So I would often hang out with them, and they also had both their parents. And then losing my mom, in my 30s, which was still pretty young to lose both of your parents. A lot of people don't lose both parents by the time they're in their 30s. None of my friends, none of my family members. There were a few that had one parent left, but not both. So this also brought me to comparing. And the thing about comparing your life to others, especially with death, I've noticed a few different feelings that you can have. I would feel sad, of course, when I see other people with both or at least one of their parents, ranging in the ages of 20s to even 60s. You can also feel angry with some bits of jealousy that can come out. Why do these people have parents and I don't? What makes them so special? All of that. These feelings can happen when you're observing the person or even when you're interacting with them. But perhaps the most difficult feeling of all is the feeling of unworthiness that can come up. You think God or the universe or whatever you may believe in has done you wrong, and you're thinking, I must not be worth it. I must be a bad person. I must have done something wrong. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve parents. All of that has come into my head at one point or another. All these crazy but very valid feelings, because you're feeling them, that's why they're valid. And what I've learned is that you're thinking all of these things, especially that last one, because you're trying to come up with a reason for what happened to you, so you feel more at ease with it and more in control of it. You're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, and it's your mind's way of dealing with that trauma. So I encourage you guys to just feel these feelings when you're feeling them. Don't judge yourself. Don't think too much into them. Apologize when you feel like you need to apologize to people. You may say things you don't mean to or act a certain way you don't mean to. Just surround yourself with people who will understand that the grieving process is very, very complicated. You can feel okay around people one day, and the next you feel sad or angry or jealous or hopeless, unworthy. It's a process. Your mind thinks if it can come up with some kind of solution, it won't be as bad. But we all know death is really hard, and just try to be patient with yourself. Try to love yourself more in these moments. Know that you are worthy. Be kind to yourself. And if you have a hard time doing that, try to find some type of help that can help you reach those feelings, because it's truly important. So with all that said, I will catch you on the next episode of Coffee and Grief. Take care.